The atmosphere within royal circles has taken on a quiet intensity, the kind that precedes major developments not yet visible to the public eye. For those who read the rhythm of royal life closely, it's clear something is shifting. Not in scandal or upheaval, but in posture, tone, and presence. And at the center of it all are Prince William and Princess Kate, rising steadily, without fuss, into roles that are beginning to resemble something more than the heir and his consort. The recent stir began with verified facts. In a routine yet symbolically significant gesture, the Australian government extended a formal invitation to William and Kate for a royal tour. Such invitations are part of a long-standing tradition between Commonwealth nations and the British monarchy. Yet this one, following closely on the heels of a private audience between King Charles and the Prince and Princess of Wales, has raised eyebrows. The invitation came not simply as a diplomatic courtesy, but as part of a deeper conversation about who represents the crown in the 21st century. What followed was speculation, carefully worded in the press, amplified in royal watching communities, and whispered in the corridors of court reporters. Was the invitation just a routine tour? Or was it the first act in a quiet repositioning of William and Kate as the monarchy's new symbolic front line? The palace offered no clarification, as is customary, but royal silence often says more than a press release. William's public role has been expanding for some time. His presence at state events, international conferences, and global forums is no longer an exception but a standard. His tone has evolved too, more reflective, more personal, often referencing the need for modernity and change. He does not challenge his father's reign directly, but he does outline a vision of monarchy that is distinct, more emotionally resonant, more publicly accessible. Kate, likewise, has shifted in visibility and tone. Her public engagements had become more thematic and long-term. She doesn't just attend events, she anchors causes. Her work around early childhood, mental health, and veterans affairs has grown more structured, more strategic. Her speeches are less ceremonial, more substantive. And her style, composed, measured, quietly confident, has solidified her status not only as a consort, but as a leader in her own right. If Charles is indeed laying groundwork for a transition, not of title but of influence, then the Australia tour could serve as a symbolic turning point. It would echo historical precedents where heirs were tasked with high-profile tours to signal continuity and prepare the public for future roles. But unlike past tours, this one carries a different weight. The monarchy in 2025 does not hold the same unquestioned stature it once did. Its relevance depends not only on ceremony, but on perception. And perception increasingly favors the younger Windsors. There is no formal indication of abdication. Charles continues to carry out his duties, engage with state matters, and fulfill ceremonial obligations. But his reign has also leaned into the idea of slimming the monarchy, not just in numbers, but in focus. By elevating William and Kate's roles now, he extends the institution's lifespan, reinforcing it with newer voices and fresh symbolism. Some media reports suggest that behind closed doors, discussions have already taken place regarding a gradual delegation of duties. Nothing confirmed, no documents leaked, but the optics tell their own story. William now stands front and center at events where the king might have once been the primary figure. Kate joins global leaders in forums historically reserved for senior royals. The palace photography subtly emphasizes their positioning. Speeches reference their leadership. And in many public reactions, the public already treats them as the monarchy's emotional core. Still, it is crucial to separate verified progression from speculative projection. The notion that William and Kate are about to become king and queen in any formal sense is unsupported by evidence. There is no indication of abdication or regency. The monarchy operates on constitutional frameworks, and those remain intact. Charles remains sovereign. The crown rests on his head. Yet, what cannot be denied is that in the public imagination, the transition is already underway. Not because of a decree, but because of optics. When Commonwealth leaders begin requesting their presence rather than the king's, when newspapers discuss their agenda rather than the monarch's, and when younger audiences express more identification with their style and causes, then the monarchy's center of gravity begins to shift. What makes this moment distinct is that the shift is not being resisted. In past royal transitions, future kings were often held back until the final moment. Charles himself spent decades waiting, watching, and largely remaining peripheral. William appears to be navigating a different path, one where participation and preparedness are prioritized over withholding and distance. This difference in approach may prove crucial for the monarchy's survival. The royal family is under greater scrutiny than ever before. Scandals, criticisms, and questions of relevance have become part of the background noise. Against that landscape, a deliberate soft transition, where the future of the monarchy is given voice and visibility, may be the most strategic decision of all. The speculation surrounding the private meeting with Charles then becomes a lens. Perhaps it was only a discussion of tour logistics, or perhaps it was more significant, a deliberate conversation about timing, readiness, and optics. If that meeting becomes the hinge on which a future shift is remembered, then its secrecy may have been intentional. Royal history is often written between the lines. It is also worth noting that the nature of royal influence has changed. No longer confined to courts and ceremonies, the monarchy now competes with global narratives, social media dynamics, and generational shifts in values. William and Kate seem uniquely attuned to this reality. Their messaging is more direct, their engagements more thematic, their presence more relatable. These qualities matter in a monarchy trying to modernize without dismantling itself. As speculation grows, the palace remains silent. That is by design. No institution manages ambiguity like the British royal family. It allows room for interpretation, for imagination, for public investment. But in the absence of clear denial, speculation begins to feel like expectation. And expectation, over time, becomes public will. That is where the story stands now. A confirmed royal invitation from Australia, an increase in visibility and responsibility for William and Kate, a monarch who governs with deliberate calm, and a public increasingly looking toward the next chapter. Whether this is a managed transition or a slow evolution remains to be seen. But the groundwork is there. The symbols are aligned. The narrative, if not yet confirmed, is already unfolding. It may take months or even years before any official declaration is made, but history has always favored preparation. And if the monarchy is anything, it is an institution that understands the weight of timing. What we may be witnessing is not a transfer of crown, but a transfer of center. If you found this reflection on royal transition insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us here on Crownverse, where royal history lives on.